Two-part final question, Kyle. Why is Cam Coleman so good? Or maybe a better description of the question would not be why, but what are his attributes that just make people just gush over this guy? And number two, in addition to Cam Coleman, who do you expect as a newcomer, whether that's a true freshman or a transfer portal addition, to be that list of guys that should make an impact?
I think what people gush over is obviously the talk around him coming out of high school. It's hard not to ignore when you get 5 stars and 5-star plus ratings from some sites. You look at his measurables, he's 6'3", approximately 180 pounds. When he's out there on the field, he looks every bit of it. I think that in and of itself, we haven't had a just dominant, very sizably measurable wide receiver in a while. We've had some guys with size, but they've not risen to the occasion for whatever reason that might be. This guy has had an opportunity to be out there at A-Day, and it is a spring game, I grant you. But as I continue to try to wave the banner of caution, just to not overhype these kids until we give them a chance to get their feet wet, he doesn't help me in waving that banner. He continues to show that he just knows how to high point a ball, how to track it. If it's underthrown, he can come back and get it. If it's overthrown, he can go out and get it. You'll find a highlight from the A-Day game, actually a couple of them with him. One where he had to make a diving catch. I believe the ball was thrown by backup Hank Brown, if I'm not mistaken. But you could argue if it was overthrown or just placed perfectly because it's Cam Coleman. I think that's what it is what you've got is a situation where Auburn fans don't feel comfortable about hardly any of their quarterbacks holistically. But when you've got a guy like Cam Coleman who can go make plays, even on maybe overthrown, underthrown balls, that's really exciting to Auburn fans. So he continues to build his legend. Most people expect him to start. I would say that's a fair assessment based on what we've seen right now, given the fact that nobody else has really taken that. When you want to look at maybe freshmen also to keep an eye on, you obviously look at the rest of that wide receiver class. Perry Thompson just got here. A lot of people would ask me lately, is he going to start? It's not that I don't think he's not capable of starting. I just wonder, he's got a little bit of less time than, say, a Cam Coleman does, than a Bryce Kane, also a wide receiver in that class that's been here as part of A-Day. Same thing would go for Malcolm Simmons having less time just getting here as well. But Perry Thompson's one definitely to watch in this class that I think would be very exciting for Auburn fans. A lot of questions about defensive line and who's going to contribute the most there. Morris Williams might be one of those to keep an eye on just to see if he's able to crack any playing time across the defensive front. But I have a sneaking suspicion that defensive front is going to be a little bit more formidable than people think it will be. And not a lot of big names there outside of Keldrick Falk, who will be in year 2. But if I'm looking for somewhere to watch in terms of freshmen, I'm looking at the wide receiver group. I'm looking probably at the defensive front to see if any of those new names can break out and make a name for themselves this year.
Kyle Loomis, E2C Network. Track everything Auburn right there with Kyle and everyone there at the E2C Network. Kyle, appreciate you stopping by as always.
Thanks for having me on War Eagle.